Supper for Dinner number 33. All right, here we go. This is the latest from Russia. Welcome back to Supper for Dinner podcast. This is Craig and my friend Miss Alyssa. What's going on?
Hey.
I was trying to think earlier today when the first time we met. Was it the Collins?
Yeah, either the Collins working there or through mutual friends.
Were you on my bus?
Highland. No,
okay.
because we didn't go to the same high school. But
No,
we
I
had a
know,
lot of
but
mutual friends.
it was weird because Highland had you would get on the bus at Highland, it would pick up a bunch of kids. I guess it kind of you were kind of in my area, Greensville, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, some kids from Parkside would hop on our bus, and it's like we already got the back, motherfucker. You're at the front. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll just leave that there for now. Yeah, it's been a long time. Fuck.
Yeah, it has been a while. I think it was just oh, you plays, I plays too. Let's have a sesh. And then at the time, we only really lived 10, 15 minutes from each other. It was pretty close from where I was
That's
in Greensville.
true. The old park chills, yeah.
Yeah.
And then the Collins, that was my first kitchen gig. I've talked on this podcast so much about the various kitchen gigs and serving gigs you can get, you know what I mean? It's a good skill to have. It gets you the money, right?
Yeah, it's easy enough for sure, but it's a lot of stress, and if you kind of get stuck in that lifestyle, some people just become lifers.
Yeah,
there's
a lot of lifers.
Yeah, and that's kind of something I didn't want to do.
Get a little bit of this in you at the end of every shift, and it just that routine starts to form, and it's you're in it for the long haul now, bud.
Exactly, and that works for some people, but
it works out too. Kitchen gig again, the skills will really take you wherever you want to go. I did that summer up at something else I've talked about at length on this podcast, the Rocky Crest.
Yeah.
When you guys all came up and we did that crazy canoe trip that one day. Do you remember that? That storm? Colton and me, we went up north to, is it Kilbear? Killarney? Killarney.
Yeah, Killarney.
Killarney. And we might have stayed at Kilbear. We were at Killarney. But we were talking about, because we had another fucking close call when we were doing a 5-hour hike up some mountain. And it started getting dark.
Oh,
and it's
shit.
we got to turn around sooner. We're not going to, we nearly got lost going down the fucking hill in the light. So it would not have been a good time.
No,
the canoe trip, though, where we were in that little cove and then we just kind of came out and it was just black skies and just crazy shit.
Mm-hmm.
She's gone out, bud. I'll relight that again.
I'm sorry I don't participate in the festivities anymore.
That's okay.
So
you're still drinking. Still drinking.
Yes, yeah, I'll still got that.
That's okay. You got something, right?
You need some sort of advice, I guess.
As long as it's not anything crazy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot worse than you can be doing than a couple beers on the podcast.
Yeah.
This is pretty much it for me. I'll dabble with some shrooms now and again if I can get my hands on them, but
yeah.
I've never, although I probably would try acid. I haven't done acid.
That would be fun to try, but you have to really mentally prepare yourself for that. And I feel shrooms is a step up from what I've heard before.
From acid?
No, before doing acid.
Yeah,
so
it's a
preps
dip of the
you.
toe, right?
Yeah.
What I was gonna say before we were talking about how we met, you're an art teacher now, is that right?
Yes.
So how did we get there? From serving to art teacher.
Well, I mean, I've always been to art and whatnot. And then after high school, I went to college for early childhood education. And then I went to university for art and art history, and I kind of decided to combine the two. And then when I graduated, I was like, oh, I should do teacher's college. But I had just done 7 years straight, and I was like, I need to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
So I went to South Korea and taught English for a little bit.
Not China.
No,
Good.
no, not China.
I have a couple coronavirus videos that we can talk about. Because my brother went to China. I couldn't remember if you guys went to the same place or no. You did South Korea.
Yeah.
So you haven't traveled around there. You haven't been to China.
No. When I was in South Korea, I went to visit Australia for a month because my mom was living there, and
That's
then
dope.
on my way back, I stopped over in Denmark to see my cousin. But I never actually did any other Asia besides Korea. I was only there for 6 months though.
See, my brother traveled all around, but I kind of wonder how much of I don't know, maybe just because he did it so much. He was never sticking around in one spot. He saw so much. I wonder how much of it like he took in compared to like just like living in South Korea nonstop for as long as you did. He was there for I think 8 months and then traveled around for the rest of it until he had to come back because visa expired or however that works out. But Australia, that's sweet.
Yeah, that one was always on the bucket list, and since I was already like kind of on that side.
You got friends out there too, right?
Ashley's out there. Yeah, she's actually coming back this summer. I'm stoked. She's been there for like 5 or 6 years.
She's coming back.
I think
just to visit, or
no, I think for good.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Enough of the sun, eh?
Yeah, I mean Australia's burning now too, so like it's crazy.
That's true.
And actually, my mom and her are in Sydney, where all that shit's going.
What do you think about like forest fires and stuff? Like,
I mean,
it's shitty, but
it's also like Earth's natural.
Right.
I
try and talk to people about this, and they just like shut it down immediately. Like, people should be doing more, and it's like you're right, but at the same time, you kind of gotta let it go because it's gonna be better for the land in the long run. Like,
I guess I think there's just also been like detrimental effects. Like there's species that are wiped out.
Yeah,
so
that's
like
a good
that's
kind of
like like the koalas.
Fuck those koalas. No, fuck those koalas. I heard some crazy stat that like 95% of them have like chlamydia or
syphilis.
Gonorrhea or whatever.
Yeah.
Come on, you don't need that.
No,
like that's Mother Nature taking care of an issue for her. Especially how like I hear if you don't keep feeding them, what is it, eucalyptus, right? Because that's all they eat, koalas. I'm pretty sure. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's a different bear. But they get really like hostile pretty fucking quick, and it's like I'm gonna bite you and give you syphilis if you don't give me that fucking eucalyptus shit. Let's get the corona shit out of the way really quick then. I have 2 videos relating to that. There's all these like conspiracies that China's like hiding real numbers and stuff, right? Okay. Let's start with this young probably shouldn't assume genders here, but
Monroe, and we're in Wuhan.
You hear that?
A lot of people were asking me why I didn't get on the plane back to America, and that's because it was made for government officials, because I guess some people's lives are worth more than others. That being said, I'm wearing my mask, we're going grocery shopping, and it's gonna be just fine.
Okay, now just remember that. Okay. And we're gonna hop right into, these are all TikTok videos. Where's the, okay.
What's up, TikTok? Welcome back to Hot Factor, and let's talk about the coronavirus. This is my 13th video on the subject, so if you want to be caught up, go ahead and click on my page. On February 9th of this year, Chinese billionaire Guo Wengai reported that at least 500,000 patients with the coronavirus have been admitted in the city of Wuhan, with at least 50,000 dead, and that the city of Wuhan cremates at least 1,200 bodies per day. The Chinese National Health Commission has changed their definition of a confirmed coronavirus case in their latest guidelines. Patients who are tested positive with the coronavirus but show no symptoms will no longer be regarded as confirmed cases. Chinese government is conducting massive arrests of persons who are presumed to have the coronavirus across all of its provinces. Citizen reporter Chen Kuishi reports the real impact of the coronavirus from mainland China has been missing since February 6th. New reports coming out of Wuhan, China suggest that 1 in 5 are infected with the virus, with a death toll anywhere from 9 to 10%. Doctors and nurses working in mainland China are now reporting that the virus has mutated and a second strain is now infecting people. Keep in mind, none of these reports have actually been confirmed by the World Health Organization, but if you've enjoyed this video, if you found it informative, go ahead and give me a follow, give me a like, and let me know what you want me to cover next in the comment section. Cheers.
That was a shitload, right? With TikTok, I think you can only get like 30 seconds per video, or 30 seconds per video. So he spewed all this shit out and double timed it so that he could get it all out. He's not like Eminem, you know what I mean? But he was talking about it's funny face there that he saved on. He was talking about whistleblowers. You know, the first whistleblower that came out's now died. It was some like first Chinese doctor that's like, this is gonna, you know, be an issue. We need to get ahead of this. And they were like telling him to keep it quiet. He died of it. And now this billionaire, I guess, who has fled to the USA is now coming out with all this like legit info. I mean, I don't believe the World Health Organization either. They tried to say that coconut oil was bad for you about a year ago. And I was like, bitch, I know for a fact that shit ain't bad for you. So something's up here. It's just that money fucking game, right? All these lizards people and all this shit. They talked about like arresting people. I saw a video. I should have saved it. What am I saying? Chinese people just putting some lady in like a box in the back of a like truck because I guess she was infected, and just like quarantine box. I guess they're going to ship her off to wherever they go now.
Oh my God.
It's scary shit. Like, I don't know. I hope that the numbers that keep coming out every day are more legit than what that said.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I've kind of been keeping up on it just in case, and it's literally gone up by like 100 people every day, and it's
every day.
But I mean, like almost evenly, like 100 people. So it's kind of sketchy, right? As
that
if
seems
there
a
is
little
some
too,
kind
like,
of
precise.
I don't know, some crazy Mother Nature population control or like people eating the wrong animals. I don't know what's going on. There's a whole bunch of different conspiracies going on.
Probably a lot of factors.
It's spooky. It's spooky, especially when you hear like all these flights had left the first few days and like landed in Toronto and landed in the States and all over the place. And it's like, how long?
Well,
What's
isn't
gonna
there
happen?
like reported cases already in Canada?
I think
it?
one person's died in the States. There's a couple cases in Ontario, a couple cases in BC, and then where else? Australia, I think, has had a couple cases. No deaths yet. I think it's on like every continent now.
Yeah,
so we'll
and this
see.
is very much similar to like when SARS was a thing, like over.
It's already surpassed SARS numbers, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
But it's similar, like flu symptoms and all that, and it's passed through like
but it's
breathing.
just like,
it's
I guess,
airborne,
really
right, or whatever.
aggressive. I don't
Yeah.
know. A lot of the masks you see people wearing, I don't think they do shit. I think you need special like medical grade like N95 masks or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are just like construction dust masks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's not going to work for little particles of the flu and
No. That's very scary.
It's
though.
been
like,
a fucked up new decade so far. Really.
Yeah.
January we had the whole shit with the plane that went down.
Oh.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucked up shit, right? And then there was the Kobe.
Mm-hmm.
Not like I'm not a basketball fan, but it's still like, you know,
Still, it's big
it's
news.
it shakes like the foundation around you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just for like 9 people to go out like that.
Mm-hmm.
Talked about this a little bit with the boys on the podcast before.
Wasn't there conspiracy about like there wasn't any engine failure or something like that? Like I don't know details. I've just heard a lot
I don't
of.
think so, maybe, but like
I don't really
there's
know.
always conspiracy theories.
Exactly.
The helicopter was cleared to fly in the fog. It was super fucking foggy. They ended up like on the side of a mountain. So like I don't know, crazy shit.
Yeah.
But then yeah, all this coronavirus stuff going around too, and it's just like fuck, not a good precedent for 2020.
No.
You know what I mean? When's the sun gonna shine?
I know, right?
That being said,
Yeah, I love my cats. Cats. DJ Rabby
Gotta
sleep,
change it
need
up a
cat nap. My cat's on the map. My cat's on my kids and they got my back. Got a bunch of cats, you should adopt a cat. I'm just saying no. Love cats till I die, little homie. I'm just saying no.
He looks
Love
so
the cat
happy.
ladies,
He
little
looks
homie.
so
I'm just saying no.
happy.
Cleaning
With
cat
his bling
litter
and
while we
his little,
rapping.
like,
We just ran no.
rack.
Decline your cat. Oh, that's waggity wag. And you can get slappity slap. Hey, decline is wag. Hey, decline is wag.
That's awesome. That's
that is
something I would
not
do with
the
my
only
pug.
one that he's. I was gonna talk to you about Miss Pickles. Have you seen BoJack yet?
No.
No, you gotta start watching
yeah,
that.
I know. Everyone tells me
I was
that.
thinking of putting a video together for you, but I wasn't sure if you've seen it by now, and you gotta watch it for yourself. The show just ended.
I
so,
heard,
like, completely,
yes.
it was nice.
I heard it's a good show, but like also like really dark and kind
yeah,
of depressing.
yeah,
so,
it's like
you
a show
kinda-
about like, I guess addiction and like the perils of celebrity and just I don't know, depression in general. It was good. It was good. It had like a lot of feel good moments and then a lot of like real life like I identify with that. When he
Yeah.
fucks up there, I identify with you. Yeah. No, it was good. Definitely something to binge now that it's all over. If the coronavirus gets you or something.
Yeah.
I'm kidding, you know. We're hopefully safe here for a little bit. But
Hopefully.
yeah.
But interesting enough, I was actually in the hospital a couple of weeks ago and they didn't know what was wrong with me, so they treated me
my
like I
God.
had coronavirus. I was in quarantine.
Yeah, just in case.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And like my dad and Devin and my sister came to visit
So, hang
me.
on. You've been cleared, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
You're at risk now.
Just add it to the podcast first.
Yeah.
That's funny. So you got cleared.
Yeah,
no issues.
no,
Cool,
nothing even
cool.
related to that. But yeah, like when they come in to visit me, they had all these signs that were like, "Yo, quarantine, you gotta like," and everyone had to like wear gowns and gloves and masks, and like I
Wild.
felt like ET when they all came in to
Wild.
look
That's
at
so
me,
funny.
and like it was fucked. It was crazy.
At least they have like it would be stupid to think that they didn't have this kind of stuff set up just in case.
Yeah, you gotta have that protocol.
Especially because,
sure.
like you said, there is always like a swine flu or a SARS or what was the most recent one? Was it SARS? I feel like SARS was a while ago.
SARS, yeah, I think we were like 10 or something like that when SARS came out.
Shit.
I feel like it was a long time ago.
Yeah, we got like a shot for that or some shit, didn't we?
Probably. I'm sure they've come up with something now.
At school, you know, one of those things that they stuck in us.
Shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy though.
No, I remember getting stuck a couple times at Highland for like different things.
Yeah.
Highland, was it Highland? No, middle school. I think they give you like the HPV shot and shit like that.
Yeah. I know they did like hepatitis
Yeah,
A
that's what
and
it
B,
was.
Hep B, and like probably tetanus or some shit.
And then SARS.
Probably kids these days now, they're like, oh.
They probably get all kinds of shit. Well, that's where all these anti-vaccine stuff, it's probably more prevalent now that like, yeah, you should have your fucking kids to a certain level of like immunity if you're going to put them out into the world.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
And
like,
that's a huge big deal right now with daycares is parents are not wanting to vaccinate their kids. And that's fine if that's what you want to do, but also you're putting like other kids at risk and your own kid.
Thing.
And like even if your kid is vaccinated, like I have a nephew who's 2 years old and he goes to daycare and he's fucking sick all the time. And he's vaccinated. Like, these kids are just little germaphobes passing everything around because they need to build their immunity.
And they think it's going to give them, like, autism or some shit, right? Like, there's all these
I guess there were studies
scares.
related to that, but I don't really know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, that could be a whole bunch of things. That can you actually cause autism? I don't know.
I thought
At every moment on this podcast, I'll show my ignorance in some, field. So it happens. Let's fucking move on here. What do we got? My eyes will fail me here. Okay, exorcism in Edmonton. Let's go. Can't remember this guy's name. Bob Laszlo or something. He's like a exorcist. And this is from a church in Edmonton. I just want to save it till the end where she kind of buys into it.
Okay. Spiritual freight train just ran over you. You'll be back in a moment. God bless you. Give the Lord a hand.
Peace is the best way to put it.
You're
Praise
right.
Jesus. And anybody that doesn't believe there is not demons, you just saw this happen tonight. So come to Bob Larson.
You got demons? I was just waiting for that. Like the got demons part. Classic. Loved it. Freaky shit, man. That people just, I don't know. Do you think she was like a paid off actor there? Or like she was buying into it?
I don't know. It's really hard to say because I do believe in like
Demons?
I don't know if I got them, but
well, there's like, it's not a religion, but like, Spanish like culture is heavy on like demons and shit. I was watching Paranormal Activity 3 a couple nights ago, and they were talking about how like the demon in that movie is like based on some crazy thing that like people actually believe in. You know what I mean? Just one of those old Aztec religions, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Spooky shit.
I've heard about
Spooky
that.
shit.
I think Pam was telling me when she was in Mexico there was like a Santa Maria or something like
Santa
that.
Maria, that's what it is.
Yeah.
The
And
summoning the
everyone's
devil. And
yeah.
I listened to a comedian. His mom was all into that shit, and she like ruled she had like her own little mob going on in town over like Santeria, and it's just scary shit.
Yeah. I don't know. It's freaky for sure.
Have you ever been like, done like a Ouija board? Yeah, one time.
Once, but it was like a new version. It was like glow in the dark and
Oh,
plastic.
okay.
So I'm like, I don't
Light
know.
up LED and shit, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know how legit this is. Like, who's gonna summon to this, right? But we tried it, and I don't know. I didn't really believe it.
We used to go, a little group of us, to the Hermitage with like I can't even remember this. Oh, you know what? It came from like a dumpster out of Highland. Somebody was throwing it out, and I was like, I'll take this fucking Ouija board and scare people. And we went to the Hermitage, and like it said some spooky shit with me and a couple of the girls I was with. Like they were all from different schools, and it was talking about like one of my friend's brothers kissing some girl that only one other girl in the group would know. So it's like, well, I'm not controlling this shit, but maybe she is or something. But you know what? It's just setting. You know what I mean? It's kind of like setting up your own like spooky acid trip, right?
True.
If you're in the dark around old buildings that have kind of fallen down around you in the past, and it's like, let's pull out the ghost talking thing, and it's like, yeah, we can make our minds believe this, right?
Yeah.
It's all about your mind playing tricks on you. It's just like going into haunted houses and stuff, I guess. Setting up your own haunted house. We went to church. Oh, you know where we fucking went? Dundas District.
Oh,
that was that was a
place
good
is
one.
super
Yeah,
haunted,
that
apparently.
was a good one.
I think about the people who are like living there now, and I'm like, I wonder if they like hear
the
weird
lofts.
shit going on. Yeah.
Because it was it a hospital or it was a community center or something? But the train crashed and then they
killed a bunch of
kept
people.
all the bodies
Yeah,
there.
and buried them in the basement or some shit. Creepy. Yeah.
There's something about just like mass graves, you know what I mean? Like if anywhere is gonna be haunted, it's like right there. That's why you always hear about like the old Indian burial grounds, and it's like you can't build on that shit, man. It's just gonna get like voided into the next realm at some point.
Totally.
Spooky shit, man.
Yeah. Some things need to just be like left be.
When I was super young, living at the old house that I was telling you about earlier, I was in bed, just lying in my little single bed. I was like 10-year-old boy, and had a closet here, one of those simple like hanging closet doors. Do you know what I mean? Cheap door. It was kind of like it's on a spring mechanism.
Oh,
Do you know what I'm trying? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sliding door. And I don't know why, but I woken up at like 4 a.m. for something, and I was like really spooked after like a bad dream or whatever. And I was just like, I can't move. I'm too scared. You know what I mean? And I was just like sitting thinking to myself, and then all of a sudden that closet door fell onto me.
Oh my god. That'd be fucking terrible.
So after that, it's always been kind of like, I don't know, man. I think I need to do some fucking like psychedelics and dip my toe in these other realms early, because somebody's fucking with me. You know what I mean? I don't think I've had any other cases like that. Like I've had a couple of near-death experiences when I was younger, but like
holy shit,
nothing like haunting. I call them like near-death experiences, but it's just like I was tobogganing with my dad one day, and I slid down this hill, and there was a chain link fence at the end of the road, at the end of the hill, a sidewalk, and then a road. It was like downtown Hamilton, East End, some fucking park, right? And I'm like, oh, you know, it'd be really funny and cartoonish. My stupid like 6-year-old brain. I'm gonna slide down this hill, and it's gonna do the classic like splat against the chain link fence. Yeah, that didn't happen. I went under the chain link fence, and I was on one of those like flying saucers, like the heavy plastic ones. So that caught on the sidewalk. But it was like, you know, middle of the day traffic.
Yeah.
About like 6 inches away from me. I never like I didn't take it all in then, how fucking crazy it was, but I still have that memory now. It's like, huh. That would have been a quick one. You know what I mean?
Boom.
A quick couple of years.
Shit.
Yeah. Think about how my dad would have felt like after that shit.
Oh my
you know what
god.
I mean?
My
mind always goes there, and it's like one of my buddies just got through like a pretty nasty car accident. He's been in the hospital for about what's today? 12. So yeah, about 12 days.
Shit.
Yeah,
is he okay? What happened?
Head-on collision.
Ooh.
Yeah, crazy shit. They're not sure if the guy was like trying to kill himself or he was just drunk.
Oh my
but,
god.
Yeah,
Getting someone else involved in that.
Yeah, I know, right?
If that
I know.
was intentional.
I think it was the latter, where he was intoxicated, because there's like possible evidence that he was intoxicated, but no, he's I think through the thick of it now. That's but I've never had like a going to visit my buddy in the hospital unconscious experience before, you know what I mean? So that was rough, you know, talking to his mom and all his family and shit. And
well, I hope he has a fast recovery.
Yep. That's what we're all hoping. And hopefully the other guy gets what's coming to him. And, you know, it's just good that the worst didn't happen, because I don't think I'm ready for that shit yet. We had a little touch of that couple years out of high school, I think, where like one of my buddies had like some freak accident, but he had moved away, so it was kind of like a preemptive, like I've never kind of had to deal with it because he moved away early, so it's still kind of like he's just gone. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Kind of distanced the
yeah, it was just weird timing, and yeah, it's just one of those things that I guess has been a little compartmentalized. You know, I'll deal with it one day on my deathbed or something. But yeah, I don't know. We were talking about ghosts and shit like this. I don't know. It's just been on my mind a little bit lately. Let's move on to another happier video. We did the corona. All right, cyclists. fucking cyclists.
Get out the bus! Come on! Get out the bus!
Oh my god.
I feel this guy, man. I feel this guy.
Have his shoes
lost
on,
his
sandals.
slippers. I mean, fuck these bikers. Fuck him too.
Yeah, this guy's a little over the top.
Like, I don't know. When I did driver's ed, I was never like instructed on what to do if you're in a lane, the car beside you is in their lane, and then a biker rolls up.
I feel like that's
Do you
not
know
allowed.
what I mean? Well, fuck, man. They don't give a shit.
No, of course
I've been in
not.
a couple situations where it's like I'm trying to get to where I'm going, and there's just like a horde of bikers. And
Oh,
it's
God.
like, what, I'm going to be stuck behind you fuckers for the next 20 minutes to
Yeah.
get 5 minutes down the road?
Pretty much.
You know what I mean? They're just taking up both lanes, and like, you just got to honk the horn and tell them to fuck themselves sometimes. Cause
yeah, like single
for
file.
some
like, go
reason,
over.
the cyclists think they like are stronger than the big metal boxes around them. You know what I mean? Like, it's
Yeah.
not going to end well for you.
No.
My whole thing that I've always, like, my argument against, like, bikers on the road, this isn't even my argument here. When I was growing up, you rode your bike on the sidewalk. Look out for people. Go on the grass and
Yeah.
stuff if you're coming up to, like, the lady with her
Little
carriage.
shopping cart or
You know what I
whatever,
mean?
yeah.
Shopping cart,
Not
baby
shopping cart,
carriage.
yeah.
Same thing. I
Yeah.
mean, one thing leads to the other, right?
Mhm.
But now it's like they get put on all their spandex and go on the road and, you know, train as their, like, what's his name? Lance Armstrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I don't know where I'm going with this.
And I'm
but,
like, you're not going to go as fast as me. Just let me scoot around you and, like, move off.
Okay, I was talking about how, like, I've been to driver's ed school. You did that,
Yes,
you know?
of course.
Cheaper insurance,
Exactly,
all that shit,
yeah.
right? The bikers, they don't need to get a license. They don't need insurance. And they really don't need to, like, obey any of the laws of the road. Stop signs, go fuck it. If there's a gap in the red light, I'm going to go through. Shit like that. And it's
Yeah,
like,
very true.
it's on the driver.
Yeah.
If you hit him and kill him, or, you know, he fucks up your car, see ya. Didn't bring my wallet.
Yeah. But apparently you can get a speeding ticket and, like, drunk riding ticket on a bike, which is ridiculous. Because my brother Brad, he bikes all the time. I think he got a speeding ticket once.
He's one of them.
He is.
He goes into trails, though, right?
I think usually.
Okay.
But he does bike to, like, Niagara Falls. I don't know if he takes a trail
That's
or
cool.
whatnot.
Hey,
but
man,
yeah.
back roads are one thing if it's like 1 or 2, 3, 4 people. But my worst time, it was literally like 30 of
Yeah,
them.
he doesn't go in, like, hordes just, like, swarming. Like, yeah,
Some
fuck
guy
those
with
guys.
a big fat beard and the wraparound shades and the big old helmet,
Oh,
just like
yeah.
wanting to beef with me. I was like
Really?
honking them and shit. And I was like trying to get around them. There was a car coming. I'm like, fuck these guys. You know what I mean? It's just, it's weird how somebody can feel so like alpha in their group, but then in like the real world, it's like, where do you really line up, bud? You know? I
Yeah.
don't know. Sorry, what were you gonna say? I tangent on this shit. It's supper for dinner, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, you know what it is.
Well, I think what's good now, with, like, a lot living in downtown Hamilton, is they have a lot of bike lanes, which are actually, like, completely separate from the actual, like, driving lanes. And they have, like, little fucking things that stick up. So, like,
Oh, they're actually divided? Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
which
all
is
about
super
that.
nice.
Because
And
then
they
it's
have
not
bike
like they're on
lights,
the
too.
road.
Yeah.
It's not like they're on the road.
Yeah.
They're not going to get out in front of the cars and cause an
Exactly.
issue.
yeah, you're, like, your two own separate lanes. Bikes here. But then the fucking problem with that is there's people in their little scooters and,
I
like,
was literally
wheelchairs.
about to say,
Yeah.
when do the
I'm
scooters
like,
come in?
Oh, it happens all the time, especially in
Where
Hamilton.
was I? Was I in Toronto? Oh, you know what? I went down to Detroit with Colton to see like one of the last NFL games of the season. And they have those fucking scooters everywhere. And I don't think it's quite there yet in Toronto. They have like Go scooters or something right now. Maybe I'm wrong, but I imagine some like little green scooters compared to Detroit's. They were like blue and black. But yeah, I could see that being a huge issue because a lot of people don't have the money for a car, maybe a bike. If not, then the scooters there, you just tap it on. Well, if they have a phone, you tap it on your phone and it charges you to that, I think.
Yeah, I think something like that.
Some crazy technology. New way for them to get your money.
Yeah.
Digital currency. Next video, I guess. This is a good one.
Look, all right. Can you grab one more?
I like this fucking thing again.
What's this? All right. Okay, D, we're here. I'm finna just put this one. I'm finna just put this one on your mouth. What the fuck is this?
One more time, bro. The sour straw. Sour. What the fuck? Is it a sour?
Nah, bro, you wrong, bro. Keep.
It's the sour worm. A sour straw. It's a sour straw. Do it one more time, bro. So I can. It's a gummy. It's some gummy, bro. What the fuck?
Hold it. How about you hold it?
Man, what the fuck, man?
Simple videos. that was funny.
Yeah.
I like to have at least a few food videos on here. Oh, this is another quick joke. So now that weed's legal, this is what cops are up to.
Look at my partner, everybody. Outside,
Just
in
fucking
the
around
snow,
on TikTok.
in the cold. Get out of here. Take your keys next time.
This guy's actually got some sweet videos, but I mean, like, that was the first thing that came to mind. Like, man, a lot of kids growing up on TikTok right now, if you see the cops kind of on your level, I wonder if that's something where, like, they had all the, what do you call them, squads in and like, said, you know, we need to make more outreach to the younger kids, and, like, this might be a way to do it through their phones.
I mean,
so
that is definitely the way to do it.
It's all over the place. It's not just him. Like, there's so many cops. Not just Toronto cops, London cops, all these cops down south, and just running the TikTok game all of a sudden.
That's crazy. I wouldn't have thought cops would be
Didn't
on
really do Instagram as far as I know, or Snapchat, but like TikTok. It's such a stupid fucking name too.
It's such
you know what I mean?
I don't have TikTok, but
Snapchat's clever.
Yeah.
Instagram's fucking a weird name.
Yeah.
Because Instagram, I don't get how that makes pictures. How do those two words make like instant pictures? Maybe there's photogram, but that's not a word, right?
I don't know.
Right? It's just stupid. Snapchat's the only thing that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
You're snapping and
chatting.
Yeah.
But now Instagram in your videos, it's basically Snapchat. So like it's kind of Snapchat. I feel like it's kind of become obsolete.
Become kind of the same fucking thing. Even Facebook now has stories, and Instagram has stories. TikTok is all stories basically.
Yeah.
And
I just try to keep it to like one social media. I just use Instagram now.
No, Instagram's good. I don't post a lot right now. I should, but mostly I'm just grabbing from TikTok just because it's easy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I feel like you can get lost in a world of just hours and
my
hours
fucking
swiping
God,
through
you
fucking.
don't know. Okay, another thing I like to show on the old supper for dinner is chicken videos. I don't see in my chicken videos. There we go. All right, here we go. Carl. Fucking Carl.
It's 5 a.m. and I'm sick of this shit. I'm getting my revenge.
Carl's a rooster.
Carl, you son of a bitch!
I think that's like my 5th chicken video so far. Just people getting chased down by chickens, or like there's one where a guy will hypnotize a chicken with a line. They erase the line. The chicken goes berserk on him. Just something about chickens, you know. I'm just going with the theme here for the supper for dinner. My logo's like an egg. I was looking at like egg tapestries all morning today. Seemed like, man, I gotta like flash this shit up a little bit. Oh, speaking of which, let's plug your Etsy and all that shit right now. And thank you very much for the Kurt Co-Banana patch there. I'm gonna hang it with pride in my future podcast setup whenever whenever I get set up on the rock. I've been looking at like any kind of like wall drapings and stuff just because this is rough right now. It's better than just plain drywall, but
yeah, it works.
Yeah, it's something, a little bit of color.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you very much for a little bit of artwork.
My pleasure. Thank you for
providing your services.
Yeah, please.
Do you want to like plug whatever your Etsy link or anything like that is before we get into another video?
Doesn't matter. Like you can kind of, my Instagram is kind of where you can find my link from there, and that has actually all my artwork, so it's better to like go from there.
What's the Instagram?
It's at Alyssum Asylum Art.
So it's ALYSSAM.
ALYSSUM dot ALYSUM.ART.
Like I said, moments of ignorance. Yeah, I don't know how any of this shit works. So you do it through your... Oh, I guess that makes sense because you'll post your whatever you've made recently on the Instagram and be like, you know, these are available through here.
Yep, and on my Instagram, in my like profile link, we'll have a link to my actual Etsy website, so you can click on there, and then I have all my postings of stuff that you can buy. I've pretty much made all my sales so far just through like friends of people I know, and they message me like, "Hey, can I transfer you money?" Which works better for me because Etsy does take a small profit, which is fine. I mean, they are the ones putting my stuff on their website.
Platform, right?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I'm just trying to like get my name out there a bit more. I did sell one patch to a guy in the UK, which was cool. But yeah.
So he would have had to find you on Instagram.
I guess so.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Because sorry, I go on tangents and shit.
That's cool.
Art
I can
teacher.
Keep up.
It's kind of like your day to day. Like you work mostly with kids right now.
I'm kind of all over the place.
Oh, okay. Because you were doing like am I trying to say workshops and stuff with people, right?
Yeah, like I do basically every single age. On Saturdays, I'm at the Hamilton Conservatory for the Arts, and I teach little kids. And then throughout the week, I'm hired through another independent contract or company. And I do like teenagers who are in like high schools and youth centers and like hospitals who suffer from like either mental health issues or troubles and whatnot. So like it's a really cool group of kids.
Yeah.
And then also just recently I've been contracted to work through Acclaim Health. So I teach art with seniors. So I'm literally all over the spectrum. It's great.
My uncle's at, or my great uncle, whatever, is at Amica now.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, I'm always telling my parents like, yeah, my buddy, he works in the kitchen. I don't know if he still does.
Who?
Your bro?
Oh, no, he's long gone.
Long gone,
yeah.
Fuck me, right?
But yeah, I served there. I worked at Amica for like 6 years, and then they fucked me, so that wasn't fun.
That's cool.
Fuck him.
Yeah, that happens, right? That's the one thing about the hospitality industry. It can kind of just, out of nowhere, sweep the fucking rug out from under your feet,
literally.
Right?
But all in all, good experience, so.
The bro's doing good, though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's living his punk rock life.
Yeah, is he still playing music and stuff?
Not as much as he'd like, but he's been getting back into skateboarding. He goes to the Kill River in Hamilton.
Oh, sweet. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, skateboarding for me, I could never get off the ground. I could like balance on the back wheels a little bit, but like I could never work out the physics of like how do you stand on this and make it go up. Like I can jump on it, that's great, but it's not coming with me.
Yeah,
you know
I know,
what
right?
Like,
yeah.
I had a couple friends that I used to hang out with in like middle school and everything that they were like really into the skateboard scene. Like they would put together their own half pipe or quarter pipes and stuff and figure it out. And like I nearly fucking broke my skull, you know, trying to keep up with the boys. Do you know what I mean?
It's very dangerous for sure. It's just you on this little piece of wood.
Especially back in the day where it's like you don't want to be the pussy wearing a helmet.
Yeah,
Heaven forbid,
that's not cool.
Right? No, I'd rather just put it all on the line now before I know what I'm doing, right?
Yeah.
The good old days.
Oh, yeah.
You wouldn't get away with that shit now.
No.
Somebody would call you on it. Moving right along. Another quick... Oh, this is a good one. This one stuck with me for a couple months here. Okay. Originally, I was going to look for face tattoos because, you know, tattoos, I've got a tattoo. You've got like 18 times more than me. This is not tattoos, but it might as well be here.
Wait, let me see your hands. Let me see your hands. It's not washing
It's coming
off.
off. It's coming off slowly.
It's not washing.
It's starting to
It's
come
And that's what's on his
washing
face?
off.
That's what's on
Oh,
his
no.
face.
Look at him. He's like,
I know,
oh, shit.
The face of regret.
He's stuck like that for a week.
Because, yeah, I love this video just because they set it up so well. She's just washing something off her hand.
You just
She
think it's on
can't
her
get
hand.
it off.
Yeah.
And then, it just pans to him, and it's so perfect. His, like, face of defeat. Obviously, it's like Halloween or something.
Yeah, the way his
but,
makeup
like,
looks kind of like,
homie's got to go to school in at least 3 days. You know, maybe it's Friday.
Oh, no.
But it might not be Friday. I don't know
Yeah.
when Halloween was last year, but what do? You just say I got in a fight and like broke my nose, double black eyes.
Yeah.
Like there's been a couple videos out there like that, but I think that one's the original and it's just fucking gold. I loved it. Do I have any more? Oh, okay. We're going to change it up here. The last podcast I did were a couple buddies from up north where I was working, and they like poo-pooed all over this. I was like, yo, check this out. They're teaching this dog how to like talk to people, tell it when to go outside and it wants to go to the beach and shit. And they're like, or they were just touching fucking buttons and saying that, you know, the dog's saying this. So I want your take on this. Okay. Here we go. Oh no. Okay, here we go. So all these ads.
Okay, I hear you. Let's go.
They're all different words, right?
You're mad? Yeah, it's okay. We'll fix it. Oh my gosh. Health, water outside? Yeah, your beach button broke. Okay, we'll go to the beach.
Right, so she was saying that because the beach button broke, saying water or help water outside.
Yeah.
And the boys were like, fuck this shit. No, this is all bullshit. Like, dog's just touching buttons and wanting to go outside, and the person talking's saying...
being, like, dissected.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is what you want.
But I was like...
But
this isn't the first video from them either, so they've gone in stages of, like, outside, and then I guess a couple weeks later they would post, like, that one. You know, and there's probably another one in the works.
Yeah, I believe it's a training session.
I like
and
to
like
believe
dogs are
in
very
that. Yeah, exactly.
intelligent, too.
Dogs can get like. I saw another video of a guy trained his dog to take the empty beer can, throw it out, open the fridge because they had like a rope tied to the fridge.
Yeah.
Open the fridge, get his beer, close the fridge, bring it to him. You know what I mean?
That's
so
impressive.
like, and it was on video. I should have fucking grabbed that too, I guess. But yeah, I was just like, oh man. There were two guys here, and they were just both like, no. I was like, man, I thought that was so fucking cool.
I think it's
so,
cool.
Yeah,
it's
right?
brilliant.
Like, I believe.
Yeah.
I believe in it. Little pugger might be able to do that someday, right?
Yeah, I mean, I actually took her to training classes, but she was more of like the class clown. And I was like, oh, you're so cute. But she graduated, and she did learn some shit. But also, pugs are very stubborn, and like they're not the smartest of breeds.
So like. Is she like still puppy size, or is that it for her?
Yeah, that's it. But
Oh,
she's
okay.
actually
I didn't
smaller than
know
most
that.
pugs.
Yeah.
A lot of pugs
Okay.
get really like tubular and like
Yeah,
kind of like
yeah,
meatballs,
yeah.
but she's like very
She's
fine.
tiny.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
tiny.
She comes from a lineage of show dogs. I think it's
Oh,
from that.
okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Lady dogs.
Show dogs.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
But
those are
yeah.
the dogs like the ladies
Yeah,
go
very,
for,
like-
right? Yeah, you can pick
Well-
them up, put them in your bag, and away you go,
Oh,
right?
totally. I'm totally
Yeah.
that bitch.
Yeah, that's cool. Like, it's nice that there's, like, so many places in town, too, that you can, like, bring the dog to and go get a beer and, like, hang out with.
Hamilton's great for that.
Yeah.
All these breweries, like the one that we went to last time, Grit and Grit.
Grit and Grit, yeah.
Yeah.
Where was I just at? I already told you. Yeah, my friend that was on the last podcast, the Blackbirds Brewery or Brewery Blackbirds.
Yeah, you said
or
it was
some
in
shit.
Ancaster?
Ancaster, yeah, it was a
Okay.
good time. I went for lunch, had some chowder, and
Nice.
yeah, a couple beers. Went
I haven't
down
even heard of
real
that one.
smooth.
Yeah.
Where is it? Wilson Street, I think. Right, like in the middle of town, I think. And
Wow, that's like super close to Grit and Grit and Fairweather then, because you just go right down the bottom there and basically.
There's probably like a whole district of just like you could just like I don't know. I was gonna say get a cab, but there's no point if you could just like walk to brewery to brewery.
But that area too, like it's kind of near McMaster, like
That makes
Westdale, and then
sense.
going up
Yeah,
to
that
Ancaster.
makes
I feel
sense.
like it's all.
You
very
could do like a
kinda
whole like
connected.
weekend beer binge tour or something, and end up back at home.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty good. Yeah. That's kind of what I'm looking forward to with St. John's. Like, there's one street that's like legendary for their bars. Apparently, it's George Street, and there's like I don't know 14 bars or something on it, just stacked on top of each other. And we did New Year's there a couple years ago. It was a really good time. A lot of people came out, considering that it's such a small population of like every generation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the street was bumping. The rest of the town really wasn't, but it's kind of why I'm going.
Yeah.
You know?
So do you have a set date? Like, have you booked your flight or anything? Like
It was
that?
supposed to be for the end of this month.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
With shit going on with my buddy, and like I have an opportunity to make another couple bucks here, and potentially go on EI in a couple weeks.
Because the whole LP business
Yeah,
that's going down
yeah.
Yeah, Devin has so many
Crazy
questions for
shit.
you
Crazy
about that.
shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm definitely not like one of the corporate people. I just go and do my job, my head down, put my podcast in my ear, and.
But you must know like the surface of
there's
like,
some
what
crazy.
they're telling
Yeah,
you.
for sure. There's some crazy shit. it's the business right now. People are just trying to take advantage of like this new industry, and if I can get EI on it before I move out, that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
But like personal goals, I would like to be wherever the fuck I'm going to be for the next little bit before I'm 30.
Yeah.
So if I
that's
push
coming up soon.
yeah,
that's
well,
next month.
if I push it by like 2 or 3 weeks and I'm still out there, like if I'm having to browse IKEA for furniture and stuff on my birthday, I'm cool with that. You know what I mean? As long as I'm out there by then, it's just kind of a little personal goal, you know. So, yeah, max another month and a week.
Wow. Okay.
Tops.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I gotta come visit you again before you leave.
Yeah. And then after.
And it's pretty cheap to go out east, though, right?
If you set well, you can make like Google Flights and stuff update you when like a flight sale is on.
Out, yeah.
So you can take advantage of stuff like that. I think Swoop is doing Hamilton to St. John's now. All of a sudden, now that I'm moving out there.
Yeah, that's convenient.
Oh yeah, it's super great for next Christmas. Because originally I was going to be out there in November, but I've been pushing it off just because I'm making some decent money right now, and I just want to make sure I'm comfortable for a little gap between jobs. And
because are you just gonna go out there and find work, or do you have anything?
I have something lined up. It's just like they're putting the grow facility together as we speak.
Gotcha.
So I'm going to be doing retail when that gets going in May. And I want to get out there end of March. So yeah,
True.
I've got a place
so
lined up for cheap and everything. Yeah, it's just a matter of money, and I don't want to be fucking poor. I want to like kind of do the tourist thing for a month and a half while I'm there.
Mine as well. Before you like actually settle in and like get to the grind.
Find my bar, you know what I mean? See which one's right for me, and go from there. I'm not sure if I have any more videos here. We went through them pretty well. Oh fuck me, Wendy Williams. Do you know who that is? That's cool. It's a good thing.
So before we were married, he promised me we would have 2 kids, and now he doesn't want any more. My friends think I should trick him and stop taking my birth control.
Oh, God.
What do you think, Wendy?
I'm embarrassed to say this because I don't like spousal lying. However, men have never been in control of our bodies. We're the ones in control. I'm not going to suggest that you do that, but look into my eyes and tell me what I'm saying.
Oh my God.
He promised. Wait, can I just take a quick poll? Clap if you think that she should trick him.
Show me in the pink.
My people, trick him. My people.
The only like guy in the fucking crowd. He's like, what the fuck did I just agree to?
That's a trap.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, I mean, like, shitty on him for giving him that promise, but also don't fucking trap him. Kids are a life commitment.
That's a crazy promise to make.
Well, yeah, that's a big deal.
But people also change, right?
Yeah.
When you see, like, the financial burden and stuff of
oh
one.
My God, yeah.
Don't ask me, but I mean, like, you know.
I just can't even keep up with it.
You know?
The energy. Like, my sister has 2 kids. I love them to death, but I'm like, holy fuck, I couldn't do that. Just exhausting. And also now I'm like, oh, like, I still feel like a kid myself.
That's
like, I just want to, like, have...
That's where my head's at.
Not that, like, I'm immature, but...
100% of the time, my head is like, I'm taking care of myself. That's great.
Yeah.
But I'm happy with this level of shit. Like, I don't have anybody else to worry about right now. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, let alone somebody else to, like, have to live with right now. Like, mom and dad are one thing, but I do my own fucking thing down here. I'm working and, you know, but like, to actually have somebody else and then a little somebody else, then it's like,
oh my God,
that's some life-changing shit that I'm not ready for, at least for probably another, I don't know, 5-10 years, you know,
yeah.
If that.
That. And also, like, with the world being so fucked up now and, like, I don't know.
Mars, man. We're going to Mars.
Yeah, Elon Musk.
Well, the most recent shit out of Elon is saying, like, he believes that he'll be able to die on Mars. Like, some colonization
That's his
shit.
thing, right?
And,
I love Elon Musk. He's awesome.
I mean, we need people like that, right?
He's
literally thinking
for
outside
the
Earth box.
Exactly.
Because this shit... Yeah, imagine knowing what the smartest people on our planet know now and then just shipping them off to a new planet to start over.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
See how fast it would either turn to shit like Earth, just because that's how...
There's just humanity.
That's exactly. Humans have
like
to... Humans living causes this shit. It would either be like proof and purchase of like, this is just how it goes, you know, like the Earth slowly dies on us, which I don't fully believe in the first place. You know what I mean? I feel like the Earth goes through ice ages and shit to literally wipe itself clean of any of the bacteria that are growing on it.
We literally are just a parasite
to
this Earth.
Yeah. We're here to eat the sandwich. That's a Joe Rogan line.
I love Joe Rogan. Devin watches his podcast all the time.
It's so good. I was just most recent one I watched. He had some guy on who spent 95 days in space. He said he was pissed off at only spending 95 because you get like a little chip for 100 or a little medal or something. So he's like, you guys can't let me stay up here. And he's like, no, we're scheduled. We gotta go today. He spent 2 weeks in the bottom of the ocean too. Like this guy has been through 2 different like planes of reality. You know. I think he's only one out of like 500 people to do the space thing, and I don't know how many people to spend 2 weeks down there, but spooky shit. You see that they found like new fish that can walk on water, or not walk on water, walk out of water now.
Really?
They have like these, okay, I'm gonna fuck this up. Dorsal fins? Okay. Not sure if this is the dorsal fin or these are okay, so these fins. But then when they come out of like their mud water shit, they can actually like use it to propel themselves out of the water, and I guess catch bugs and whatever. But they can breathe. I guess they're mostly amphibious. Just crazy shit. I don't know. This is usually the part where I ramble off drunkenly for a little bit. I'm gonna see if I have any more videos left.
Maybe this is like the cycle, right? Like species are being extinct, and then the new ones are coming and crawling.
I was thinking about how we came from like
that's all
water
evolution,
animals, mammals, things.
We all were little like plasms
and
or
then
whatever.
all of a sudden these things like these are the next fucking people. We're gonna implant them with chips now, so that when they evolve a couple more 100 years, they're gonna evolve their own chips. Imagine that was the thing. You implant like subspecies with like technology now, and it starts to like.
Elon Musk was talking about
evolve.
like implanting.
He's talking
things.
about us, but I'm talking about these fish things.
Well,
if
that's
they're
the
like,
next step,
if they're like
right?
the next generation, we just like stick some probes up their ass and let them like, mutate for a couple more years. And then they're like legit cyborgs with like no health aversions. They can just fly around in space. My whole thing is water bears. You know about water bears? They're like these little micro creatures, animals that can survive vacuum of space, high temperature, low temperature, all these like crazy thresholds and shit.
Okay,
we need to research that and start like gene splicing people with that.
Because
that's going to be... Imagine you could go out in space like without a spacesuit, right? Just like Iron Man. I don't know the fucking technology, future technology.
It's crazy, and it just keeps advancing and like progressing so quickly.
We're at like 60s and 70s generation Star Trek, Star Wars technology right now. So shit like we're coming up with now, if you think about like the exponential growth of microchip and all that, like how long is it going to take before Musk's Cyberlink and all that's actually viable? And then they're talking about all these test tube organs and stuff that they're going to start growing. Do you know what I mean?
Whoa.
And you can take like a piece of your DNA and like grow part of you in a petri dish again. So if you need like a new heart, a new kidney, and
wow, so you don't need donors anymore. It could just be your own actual like genetics.
Have you seen The Island? Old like 2010
Leonardo
movie?
DiCaprio?
No, Liam Neeson and Scarlett Johansson.
I don't think so.
He wakes up as like a clone of like Liam Neeson as a celebrity or something. So there's two.
Okay.
Liam Neeson plays two characters, like some celebrity guy with a shitload of money and the clone. Most of the movie's spent as the clone. Eventually breaks out of like this clone
world or a
foundation.
Society. Yeah,
like where they keep all the clones in case the rich need organs, right?
Yeah,
crazy movie. It's kind of like that, but you're cutting out this like meat sack middleman. Do you know what I mean?
So it's like if the real Liam Neeson or whatever got sick, then he could just get the clone stuff to fix. Okay, it sounds very.
And I guess
familiar.
maybe sell off the other organs. I never thought about that until right now. But then that's like an investment in growing your own clone in the first place.
True.
I need one lung, and you've got a whole plethora of organs to just like sell off.
I mean, they're always in demand. That's why, like, on your driver's license, when you sign for that shit, they're like, when you die, can we have your like, all your shit?
Yeah.
Like, I
you
guess
might not
I'm
want
dead,
them, but you can have them.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, the lungs might not be so good, or the
lungs
liver.
might not be good. The liver's seen some action. The brain has definitely seen some shit. I did salvia way back in the day a couple times.
Oh, yeah.
I had some crazy trips on salvia.
Salvia's weird.
Salvia is.
And you can just get in convenience stores. Which
not
is crazy.
anymore.
No?
Not anymore.
Okay,
after I think
that's
like maybe because you're 91, right?
No, we're 1990, both of us.
Oh, fuck me, man. I always prove like my ignorance about like shit and then ignorance about the people I have on the podcast. You know, I'm just like, yeah, I know nothing about these people. I just have them on for nothing.
What's your name again?
I always thought you were 91 for some reason.
No, we're the same age, man. I was at the same graduation as you. And did you even go to Highland graduation?
Graduation or prom?
Prom, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah.
I was drunk.
So was I.
I think I was on a couple other things. I think that was just when I started getting into mushrooms too.
Oh, yeah. That must have been fun. But anyways, back to
salvia. I feel like it's like a step below like DMT. Because I all of a sudden felt like I was dreaming. I was sitting.
Yeah, it does have that
Back
effect.
when I was at my parents' house in high school, that room, the red room.
Yep.
I was sitting in there with like two of my friends, hitting like I think I took 3 like fat bong hits of salvia because I wanted to make sure it worked. Well, that was the thing. If I was gonna take one, then you're already committed.
Yeah.
And one hit from salvia is shit. You feel like, for me, I felt like hands on my shoulders, and it's just like pulling you back.
That pull, yeah.
You back, just lie down. And it's like,
yeah.
you have to really let go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have to give in and just be like, let go with these random fucking, forces. It's hard the first time, right? Try and fight that, you fall over trying to get up. So 3 hits took me, and it's literally when you're so far into like deep sleep dreaming, where you kind of know you're dreaming. Or you're along for the ride with dreaming. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Like, you might not be aware that, like, oh, I've gone to bed right now and this is a dream, but, like, you're conscious enough to kind of remember your dream when you come out of it, right?
Yeah.
So that's what this was like. But I was just in my room and then all of a sudden, like, flying through space. There was, like, crazy, like, cube planets, and like I remember seeing the binoculars from Toy Story.
Oh yeah.
The blue binoculars with the orange feet.
Yeah.
I remember that so distinctly, just in like space, black stars, and then just one of those, and then like some chick's voice in my head saying like, "This is real, Craig. This is real."
That's so creepy.
And then I slowly like, I'm dreaming right now, and then it's like I was just down in my room. And then that slowly, I think, took me out of it. Like
I see.
Broke the popped the balloon.
Yeah.
And I came down, didn't know who my friends were, didn't know where I was. I tried to leave my room. I can't remember if my parents must have been home because my friends were like, we can't let him leave. And that was bad. Because literally it came down to like a split decision of like, who are these people? Do I attack or do I just give in? It was that like primal moment of like, these motherfuckers, if I want to leave, I'm fucking leaving. But like I was coming out of it all the same, trying to talk too, like salvia mouth, right? Yeah, you just can't talk. That's another thing. Like it just fucks your language center, as if like we've been trained to talk like this, but that's not how we talk,
Yeah.
I don't know. Psychedelics are fun.
I remember my first salvia experience. I was sitting on an air mattress, which probably didn't help, and I was with a buddy, and he took a hit, and then I did, and I just remember looking up, and he was like, "Welcome to my world," and then I just kind of like fell back, but I was like,
"That's
yes."
never fucking good.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy. Fuck that. I have an idea who that was, and fuck that guy. That's too funny. Welcome to my world.
I don't know if it's who you're thinking what I think, but anyways, I ended up sinking back into this mattress, but I remember like looking up and I felt like I was like falling into the ground, but it was literally a huge stadium around me, but everyone was laughing and I was laughing.
And you were just with one other person.
Yeah.
Oh,
but like it was pleasant. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't scary. It was kind of like, ha ha ha.
Yeah.
Like, but then I got like profusely sweaty and like it was strange, and you kind of come out and you're like,
psychedelics do that.
Weird, yeah. But then I did it like a few days later with my girlfriend, so I was like, this is fun, we should try it. So again, we were sitting on the blow-up mattress, but a bed, and I was like, just hit it like a fucking like bong toe grumbly.
Yeah,
so
fuck yeah.
And then she looked at me like,
What have you done to me?
Yeah, it was just like terror in her face, and then she's like, oh, and then she's like, let's go, everything, and we're like, oh god, we grab the bong and like put it aside. She's like, oh, and knocking shit off her shelf. We're like, oh god, so we start like putting her legs down on the bed, which is probably a bad idea in her world. And then she like also was like, oh my god, and just like came out of it. She's like, oh my god, I was like turned to this block room and I was forming into the floor and like my life was over. It was like this terrible trip. She was like forming into the ground and it was bad. And I guess us holding down her legs didn't help with that. But I was like, holy shit.
Yeah,
like,
that's the whole fucking thing with psychedelics in general. I've had one bad time on shrooms where we were all together. We did like 7 grams. Some of them did tea. I was like, I'm not fucking drinking shroom smoothie. I'm just going to get this down with candy or whatever I did. Skittles was my shit back in high school. Take like a mouthful of Skittles, mash it up, and then just take as much shrooms
all
as
the
you
juice
could.
and sugar.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Buddy's girlfriend kept calling the whole day. We had the day off for something. It was a PA day or some shit that we were like, I was in town for some reason. It must have been we had a Friday off or something, so I would have been in there from the Thursday.
I remember hearing about this.
Okay, so yeah. Oh, yeah,
from Buddy's girlfriend.
Of course. What am I even...
But yeah, go on.
I don't make the connections sometimes. Okay. I think it's because of previous conversations.
Yeah.
But yeah, Buddy's girlfriend... Man, I feel so fucking stupid right now. That's so funny.
Anyways, continue.
Kept calling.
Yeah.
Like so many times as we're getting deeper and deeper into like this, sunny fucking beautiful day of shrooms. We were outside. Ring, 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 ring. And I was just at one point, we were all sitting at the kitchen table, which is like right by the phone.
Yep.
She calls again. I get up. I pick up the phone. I'm just like, we're on shrooms. Peace. And my friend, whose girlfriend and house it was like from me to you away, let's say. Yeah, from me to you away. And I just hang up the phone and he's just like, what the fuck? He didn't know who it was either, right? So
he's like, who did you tell?
I saw on the caller ID
her
like
name.
it was so and so.
Yeah.
The number came up. This was back when you called the house phone. Man, that's a fucking mind fuck all on its own.
Yeah.
When it was on the house phone, you would call the house phone. Wow.
It's already been like over 10 years since we graduated, which is fucked. High school. Now you feel old, don't you?
I don't know. Not so much like I feel old. I mean, obviously the math is there, but
I don't feel old though.
It doesn't feel like
No.
it was. I mean, that's what everybody says, I guess, right? It just happens. But that's human memory, where you don't remember everything. You just remember little pieces. And what I think was this time actually turned out to happen much later on, and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, he freaked out at me, and I told him like it was just her, and he's like, "Well, still, that's still a problem." And that one moment is what made my trip turn.
Because he was
just
pissed?
Well, and just like I feel like a whole bunch of like my friends pissed at me, like
the lead up the phone ring,
public like fuck uppery, and just like just all of that, you know what I mean? It was as if you got on the gravitron and it just started spinning, like everything just fucking started spinning around me. We might have been 2 hours into this point, so I'm just like peacing up to your guest room for the rest of my trip. Went up to the bathroom, tried to roll a joint, failed. Left my weed, papers, everything there. My friends still tell me about the shit show of a joint that they found in the washroom that one day.
Yeah.
And learning experience, right? It was a matter of setting. Know when shit's gonna go down. Mm-hmm. And I mean, if that happened now, it would probably be one of those cases where you got to get up and go to the park for a bit or something. Remove contact from like the outside world, because the outside world is coming in through that phone.
Yeah, yeah. And like that's what I've been told with shrooms is like you want to do it with a group of people you're very comfortable with in a nice environment. Like don't go in like social situations.
Definitely not for your first time.
Yeah,
but, like,
yeah.
I have gotten together with the boys before, and like we've gone down to the Collins and shot some pool and stuff. Pool,
way,
I
okay.
love playing pool on shrooms because the
Cool.
trails and everything.
Yeah.
Honestly, it kind of makes your shots better because you can kind of see how you fuck up. You know what I mean?
I feel like you
can
like
kinda,
envision like
yeah,
the ways
yeah.
and everything going
Yep,
like
yep.
that.
You
That's
can kind
sick.
of see like straight down the middle of the ball and where that line's gonna hit on what you're trying to shoot for, right? I really like shrooms for playing pool.
Awesome. We should do
Small
that
doses.
sometime.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm definitely down. I've been trying to get my hands on some for the last couple months because right there before Christmas, I went on like a little shroom bender where I did like 3 days straight of shrooms, and you definitely don't feel the same high. Even your second dose. Excuse me. Your second dose of shrooms, because it was like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, whatever.
Yeah.
2.5, 3 grams every time. The third day, it was like I'm just smoking weed, basically.
Yeah.
You know, it just
True,
wasn't
it
the
just
same.
doesn't have
You
that
need to like work up that something to do with the dopamine release and everything in your brain, and I guess whatever else makes the psychedelia happen. But
Yeah.
you definitely need to fill that bank back up. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Cool.
I'm definitely not an expert, but that's my own experiences. And yeah, I would definitely like to get my hands on the salvia again.
Yeah, I feel
It's been
like
a
that would be
long
fun
time.
to try.
Yeah, with like the right people.
Of course. Yeah. I actually only just tried shrooms for the very first time ever 2 years ago. So it was Dev and I's 1 year anniversary, and we're like, let's just try
Celebrate.
it. Yeah. And it was fun. It was a summer day. It was in May. It was hot, and we're like, all right, let's do these. And we lived down
I love
like
fucking summer days.
Oh, it was perfect.
Yeah.
And we live like East End, and we're like, okay, if we start walking now, it'll take us about 30, 45 minutes to hit downtown Hamilton. So it'll hit us then. We're like, perfect. So we're walking, we're having a couple drinks on the way, and it was great. And then all of a sudden, as we get downtown, it's like, boom. We didn't even do that much, though. Like, I think we did like less than a gram, but still.
Yeah. Oh.
But it was also like first time. I don't even know if he's ever tried it. So I was like, I don't want a fucking bad trip. So like we'll work our way up. I think I ended up doing a little bit more after that, just to kind of like. But as soon as we hit downtown, we see this like vintage antique store. We're like, let's go in. And as we go in, there's this very like eccentric guy. He's like, welcome to my store. And it's like a museum, just shit everywhere. And that's when like the shrooms just hit us. And I was like, wow. And I'm just like flabbergasted by looking at all these things, super fascinated. And the guy's like, how can I help you today? And Devin looks at me, he's like, we're on shrooms. The guy's like, okay, have fun. And I'm like, you just ratted us out, man. Like, what are you doing? And the guy's like, hey, have fun. Like, look at this and look at that.
Yeah,
like,
that's
he was totally on board with it all.
Exactly.
So it was great.
That's dope.
And then we like went to, I remember we stopped at Starbucks to go to the washroom, and they had this like plant floral design on the wall, and at that point I remember seeing it go like this, and I'm like, all right, I'm fucking feeling that, I'm seeing it. I was like, this is sick.
Plants or something too.
And I felt really good about it though. Like it wasn't scary. I was like, cool.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of soaking it. And then we went outside and everything was so green. I'm like, oh, this is lovely. Like it's a beautiful day. I was stoked. Like it was wonderful.
They're looking at psilocybin. I think I said that right. Psilocybin shrooms and stuff for depression, PTSD, all this stuff now.
Yeah,
so
microdosing is actually really good for
Microdosing is
you.
huge. Yeah, again, Rogan, he's got a couple buddies on there who microdose like daily in their fight schedules and stuff, and they say like they can like predict guys' next moves and stuff.
Crazy.
Do you know about like the stoned ape theory?
I'm not sure.
So I think it was this guy called Terrence McKenna. I think he's dead now, cancer, some shit, but he was like a huge psychonaut. He's done like a bunch of research on shrooms and LSD and DMT. Anyways, he has this whole theory about how apparently there's this period history where our brains like evolved. I want to say, I don't know, evolved like super quickly over I think 200 million years comparatively to the rest of time.
Yeah.
And they think that was when like our whatever ape ancestors stumbled across psilocybin mushrooms.
Okay.
And because they munched on all these shrooms so much, and it was part of their like huge diet, that it caused them and like their next generations to I don't know, have more insight and you know whatever shrooms do to you.
That's
I know
super
personally
cool.
speaking, and I've been talking about this pretty recently on the podcast, about how I feel like shrooms haven't made me more empathetic towards people, because you know fuck people.
People
But
can be assholes.
animals and shit. Like
Oh, yeah.
I used to not give a fuck about really anything when I was hella like much younger. I still have like this like memory of watching Shrek and stuff for the first time and like no laughs, watching it with the friends and everybody was laughing except me. And it's like I think this is depression. And eventually coming into, you know, weed and shrooms and substances such as those, and I just feel like doing them over so much, I don't know, time. I don't really have a experiment to prove what it would be like without them, obviously, but I feel like they definitely have given me more empathy, at least towards like, you know, outside animals and things like that. I still feel like I could be a hunter down the road if, you know, you harvest the animal for everything. You do it,
it's
do
not
it
wasteful
ethically,
at that point, yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just something I feel like I give a shit about animals and stuff more than I used to.
That's good.
Yeah, I find the joy in a lot more things the more psychedelics I do.
Well, it just opens up your mind more, really.
Right,
so,
that's true.
And you connect to different things that you never really thought of, and I think you kind of understand yourself in some ways and process emotions. Perhaps like after doing shrooms that one first time 2 years ago or 3 years ago, I've been like after that I had some left over, so I was like, I'm just gonna try a little bite here and a little bite here, and like I wouldn't feel much, but I was trying to microdose because like I've been dealing with depression and all that bullshit, and I think it kind of helped a little bit. It's not something I do now, like I haven't taken shit in a long time, but
yeah, I've never
it's not
done
something I'm against.
Never done the microdose thing.
I have heard though by doing shrooms, I don't know how much you have to do, but you can have flashbacks.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I would have had like legit flashbacks by now if that was a thing. I feel like that's one of those I was gonna say Ponderosa, but that's Survivor shit. Propaganda, anti-propaganda shit from like the religious cults from back in the day saying don't expand your mind too much because you might start tapping away at things that aren't there. Talking about the exorcism video and stuff. That would have been a good tie-in now.
Yeah.
But, whatever, we got through all that bullshit already. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot to say. There's a lot of people naysaying like drugs and stuff in general because of the usual the old school mentality around weed and everything else.
The devil's lettuce.
Weed is like the baseline. If people aren't cool with weed, then just don't even talk about anything else.
No.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you. What am I drinking? Mom and Pop.
It's a lager, but it's from
I
a
like
craft
lagers,
brewery,
so it's perfect.
yeah.
It's my shit.
This is a lot more hoppy. That's good. You dig?
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
Awesome.
I like
You
that.
got to come to that brewery with me sometime.
This is Collective Arts?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down. We'll figure that out. Doing the ice fishing with Mr. Preston.
Yeah, that should
on
be
Monday,
fun.
I think, on Monday. And then
Said you're gone for a couple days doing that, right?
it'll maybe be Monday, Tuesday. I'm hoping to go to the casino with him because it's down in Niagara Falls. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
True.
We'll be going to Fort Erie, I think, for his ice fishing. He says he has a whole hut and everything set up, so he's paying for gas and all this shit. He says, so we'll see. I'm calling you out right now, bro.
Yeah, you heard it.
He's one of the ones that says he actually watches this shit, so we'll see. We'll see. I basically, like I was saying, just do this for fun. It would be cool if this shit takes off, especially when I get to the Rock and kind of move on to more of a, not like a East Coast theme, but I feel like the more people I meet there, I feel like everybody's kind of got a story.
Totally.
You know what I
if
mean?
you kind of like interview different people or have like a certain theme or topic of conversation per.
Just random noofs.
Yeah.
I don't know. This, like I said, I started this first year of the last round of college there, and it's just kind of something to, just something to.
It's cool.
Yeah,
I like it.
I don't know. Everybody's got to have some kind of side hustle, I feel, these days, and this is like my excuse of, I get to choose what is on this. Basically, if people want to send me shit beforehand, that's fine, but I like just inviting people over and being like, you don't have to do shit, just come over, I'll entertain you for an hour or so, and we'll go about our ways. And it, I think it's going to be cool to look back on in 10, 15, 20 years.
Oh my God,
assuming the internet's still a thing, and, coronavirus didn't eat away the internet somehow.
Oh my god.
I don't know.
I hope we can laugh about this in 20 years. But like, oh my god, remember coronavirus?
And then when it took out half our population
Yeah,
and like
fuck.
Asia isn't a thing anymore. And
Jesus. That'd be scary.
did you hear about there's I think a fungus growing in Chernobyl that eats radioactive material?
What?
Mm-hmm.
So wait, that's good, right?
I mean, yeah, I guess, but it kind of like supports a theory that maybe like mushrooms and fungus are like an alien.
Because it is a living being.
Oh yeah, the mushrooms are the largest living organism on the planet. Is a fungal mass that spans across I think the Canadian Shield, somewhere in North America, like spans like right across because of how fucking crazy our forests are and stuff. I guess there's one mycelium. That's what the mushroom internet is.
Yeah.
And I guess there's like one species or one variety of one mushroom that has grown from like BC to. I should have fucking got my Alexa plugged in beforehand. I have not Alexa, Google's Alexa.
Yeah.
Should have brought that because that's a great thing for the podcast. But
Just
yeah,
ask her questions.
like a mushroom is like the biggest organism on the planet, living organism on the planet. Yeah. So we're talking about, again, like what we were saying at the start of the podcast, how the forest fires and stuff are beneficial and detrimental. The mushrooms are going to come in and they're a huge part of all that. They're going to break down all this like burnt mass and make it more available. Australia is already growing back. Yeah. I don't even know if the forest fires are out yet, but I've seen stuff online where like parts of the forest that have burned down, they're already growing up again.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's just Earth's natural cycle.
Yep.
And sadly,
so maybe it's an overpopulation of one species in the one area too,
I guess
right?
so, right?
Because you see, like kangaroos down there are like our deer.
Yeah.
And I feel like they'd maybe not worse because deer will fuck up your car and kill people anyways here.
I feel like kangaroos too. They
and
can
kangaroos
fucking
punch people,
yeah.
so like I don't know. Anyways, drunken rambling. Let me see if I have any more fucking videos. Oh, I do. I have at least 2 more videos here.
Look at you.
That was a good little lapse of time there with no videos. Okay.
Hey, we're doing great.
Let's see here. We did the Wendy Williams. Okay, this is good. Just a classic drunken fucking video.
Oh my god. Just
pretty funny. I'm concerned why his pants are undone.
Yeah, and I'm like, why is that?
I love the attention to detail.
He put a hat on.
So funny.
Wow.
Good for them. Good for them. Some good friends. I never had friends that fucked with me when I was drunk, you know?
Yeah,
I'm glad for that.
Yeah.
Me and a couple of my buddies back in the day, we tried to do like a Jackass thing a couple of times.
I think every kid tried to
with
do
like
that
the
after seeing
camcorder before cell phones were a thing.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so you had
The
like
family.
the full exactly.
Yeah.
And I guess I pulled the straw to do. They duct taped me up to like a road sign, so I was off the ground. So they held me up and then wasted like a whole roll of duct tape, sticking me there, waiting for a car to come by for me to be like, help, I'm a hostage or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Literally, I was up there for like 20 minutes in the dark and no cars came by. The boys cut me down. We were just walking past. And then a car went by. I'm kind of glad, don't get me wrong. I got out of it. I still put my, name in the hat to be part of this shit.
Yeah,
but I didn't have to deal with people. Some fucking crazy times with those rednecks back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
The old Westover crew. You been to Westover? No. It's like one stop sign.
Oh.
That's it, A couple of my buddies from like back in the day when I had first moved out to the country, like I spent 1 year at like their elementary school. Do you know what I mean? So I met a lot of people that lived like super local, and a lot of them were from Westover. Good guys. Just don't see them too much anymore. It's the way she goes, right?
Yeah, we all get older and got shit to do.
Mm-hmm. So buddy A living here, buddy B living here. He works at Twitter now, and he is a trucker, I think. Both sweet jobs. I would prefer the latter more than the former, I think. Like, talking about what I was just saying, like, being on the road on your own for that long.
Yeah.
I look at truckers now and I see them like getting all fucking cozy up at the end of the night, like at the gas stations and stuff, like in their back little cab unit, and it's like they're getting paid for this.
Yeah, that's true.
Man, I think
Very
about that
true.
so much. It's not a fucking feasible job anymore. It is not. I mean, the lifers are still there for a few more years. There's the guys before them that are still there, so I don't think that. Well, I guess my buddy, he doesn't do like cross country. Do you know what I mean? I think he's like contracted for like a local quarry or something. They just ship shit out. But I mean, like to do the cross country stuff, by now they're already having autonomous trucks on the road now, eh? Do you know what I mean? So driverless trucks, transport trucks.
What?
I think they've tested one, and it's gone across North America. I think it went
driverless trucks.
I think it went from like California to, I don't know, name a eastern state, Maine. It went like cross America, I'm pretty sure.
So wait,
no driver.
Who's driving the truck then?
It's like drones.
It's a robot.
It's like drones. Yeah, it's like what they're all doing on these Teslas and stuff now.
Oh yeah. But there's been issues with the Teslas though too.
Small issues. Yeah, I don't know. They got this transport truck from point A to point B. Yeah.
Wow.
It's the future. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not a feasible job anymore, so I'm just going to grow my fucking weed. How crazy is that? Do you know what I mean? We got robots coming in and shit for all these, like, old school jobs, and all of a sudden, I don't know, I talk about this a lot on the podcast, but, I mean, it's just crazy that, like, you can get a job brewing beer or, for the further point, growing fucking weed. Like,
yeah, man,
it's never going to be a huge paycheck or anything, but it's going to be more than comfortable.
Yeah, I think it's sick. I mean, especially since the government, like, I mean, I don't smoke weed anymore, but it's not the same quality. Hey, I'm not being bougie about it. It was a personal decision.
That's okay. I get it.
Clearing my head for just a little while.
No, I feel ya.
After 10 years, I need to, clear the clouds a bit.
That's a good call.
Yeah.
It's good to do that every now and again.
But I miss it.
I'm
do.
due.
I'm
due. But I think my lifestyle negates that kind of talk, I think.
Yeah.
You know?
But it's a huge market right now, especially since it is legal. And then if they have like micro grows, that'd be so sick. Think if I have like these micro breweries.
That's
people
the plan.
Come in,
exactly.
bring their own little bong, smoke, do art
yeah.
night. Like that's what I want to do. That'd be so
People got to think
sick.
about the weed industry more like the booze industry.
Yeah.
And especially like breweries, because that is like where I want to get down the road after I have a couple years experience. Like I'm coming up to a full year at the place I'm at right now, plus all the bullshit that I did in school. So like, I'm getting there. Another year or two, especially if like I'm coming on at this new company as like the second to the head grower. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's a leg up in the right direction too. So when the dust settles for all this legal bullshit, and right now the whole industry's kind of in a lull because we have companies like this one and other ones that have been trying to get around the government basically and steal a bunch of money thinking they're going to get away with it. It needs to just become more normalized. Ontario especially has opened up saying they're allowing more retail and they're bringing in more cultivation and sales licenses by like the month. So we're going to get there. It's still, we're the first country to do it, right? Uruguay like legalized all their drugs or decriminalized all their drugs, but they didn't like set up jobs and stores and everything. It's just like the cops aren't going to charge you for it now. Whereas we have the first actual cannabis industry. Do you know what I mean? Where we're setting up like a Labatt brewery for weed, basically like your tweed and shit like that. And there's going to be people that try and take advantage for the first 5. What are we at? We're at year 3. I think we're at the 3rd year right now. So yeah,
Of
probably
it actually being legalized.
Yeah, this
really?
is the 3rd year. It was 2018.
Holy
October.
Shit.
So we're not quite on over our 2nd year yet.
Yeah, still working on our 3rd though. That's crazy.
Yeah, so like other countries down the road are gonna learn from our mistakes. I don't know if it's way too early in the future, but like prospects would definitely be to go abroad and fucking show other countries how to grow weed down the road, right? Like I feel like now it's just the right time to be in this industry. I just got lucky, basically. You know what I mean? Yeah.
You learned a lot too.
Yeah.
Being in school
Well,
too.
That,
on top of that, as a bonus.
Yeah.
Right?
Like I've been doing it forever, but
Yeah.
until I get that fucking some kind of validation through a school, it doesn't matter. Like I couldn't get a job until I went to school again. So it's a matter of being able to have something on your resume, even though I didn't graduate, to say like, you know, I've been here for this amount of time, I've learned some shit, and I've been doing it for X amount of years already. So it's just like anything else, I guess. If you can be doing it on the side and then prove that you can do it properly, makeup, tattoos even, right? Like I can't imagine how many people start that shit in their basements and stuff.
Yeah.
But eventually, or even, you know, artists, right?
Yep.
How do they do it? They start on pigskin, right?
Yep.
That's crazy. Because you did that for a little bit, right?
Well, when I was 18, I apprenticed at a tattoo shop,
Right,
but it was super
yeah.
sketchy. I even did a pigskin. I just went straight onto people, which was super illegal and very bad. I actually tattooed my brother back in the day.
True. The 9 Inch Nails, was
Yeah.
that it? Yeah.
It was shitty though. In my defense, the guy who owned the shop did the outline, and I filled it in, and I was trying to straighten out his lines because they were so fucking bad.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Drunk tattoos. There's a lot of shit like bad tattoos on the internet.
Oh my god.
Do you ever go on Reddit?
No, but Devin does a lot.
Yeah. There's some bad parts of Reddit where people will like pay off tattoo artists to fuck up their buddies' tattoos and shit. Like,
oh my
just
god,
there's
that's
so
horrible.
There's so many scumbag people out there, man. Kurt go banana.
Go banana.
All right, I think I got one more.
All right.
Cheese.
Looking at my drip, looking at your drip. Mommy, look at me. Oh, I'm killing it. Swinging side
Like,
to
what
side.
the- Open window. Bing.
Right through.
Dance, but she don't know how to.
Nice hot rod.
Did you even notice?
TikTok, baby.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I feel like the cheese singles aren't gonna hurt anybody, right? It's just kind of funny.
Yeah.
Just like a slap in the face out of nowhere.
Well, I heard if you put bologna slices on cars
Or
and it
eggs.
sits
Eggs.
or eggs. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Eggs are impossible to scrape out of paint, especially if it does to like paint on a car.
Oh, I never thought about that. I thought it was
Holy
some kind
fuck.
of chemical reaction.
I heard that bologna, if
Bologna,
it's like cooks,
yeah, the nitrates or some shit.
I don't
right?
even know.
Yeah.
So I've heard like horror stories, people like cutting dick shapes out of bologna and putting them all over someone's car, and then they peel them off and they've got dicks.
So you can't just cook supper for dinner on your car. Is that what you're telling me? Right now, you can't cook supper for That's depressing. You know what? Just leave it there. Just we'll just leave it at that. That's perfect. Thank you again for doing this.
Hey.
It was a lot of fun, right?
Yeah, this was a lot of fun.
We'll
Thanks
have
for
to hit up
having
the Collective Arts
Yes.
Brewery soon. Cool.